Coming up on today's episode of Parasport Nation, we're on the ground at Défi Sportif in Montreal. We have wall-to-wall coverage. I'm speaking with the CEO, ambassadors. We even got some high school athletes as well. You won't want to miss it. Let's get started.
Welcome to Parasport Nation with Alex Smyth and Nathan Clement.
Welcome into Parasport Nation. I'm your host, Alex Smyth. No Nathan today. I'm flying solo because we have a jam-packed show. Let's get started with my interview with Maxime Gagnon. He's the president and CEO of Défi Sportif, AlterGo. Maxime, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Drew.
How would you describe Défi Sportif to someone who may not be familiar?
First of all, it's the biggest event, multi-sport in Canada. In that event, it's incredible for across the world because we are receiving athletes for all kinds of disability. So when you swim, you have your wave, but the second wave can be a blind person. The wave can be a person with disability, intellectual or physical. So that's what's Défi Sportif. It's all inclusion. Everyone was happy to be here. We received grassroots competition to high-level competition.
It truly is remarkable, just the scale and scope of competition that is included in Défi Sportif. Even today, this morning, we're seeing kind of the opening ceremonies for a lot of the youth and high school kids who are getting ready to compete. How important is it to not only have a competition that is for those high-performance athletes or the grassroots, but something that can cater to everyone inclusively into one sport?
Inclusion. For kids, maybe their first time they training in a gymnasium, small gymnasium, just to practice every morning, to wake up, to go to the school, said, okay, today that's my gym course, so I'm going to be there to my course. And they got 2 times, I'm going to be here 2 times. And my goal is what? To be at Défi Sportif, to do my 100 meter. Not fastest as one, to be there, to be present. So when we said all start from here, that's for that kind of a kid. And maybe later we're going to see him at the high level. But if it's not, it's okay. Just participate, go outside, social inclusion, it's all that, Défi Sportif.
In terms of some of the high performance competitions, the return of wheelchair curling, that's a big boon for Défi Sportif, as well as having like the blind hockey showdown. What does that mean to have those competitions included?
For kids?
For everyone,
yeah, but for kids, to see where the goal is, and for the high level, say, oh my God, some kid's gonna come, so I have to put myself to stay at the national team or provincial team. That's what we have a big competition of bocce. This year we do not have it, but on the same court, you've got school, you've got Quebec against Ontario, and China against Hong Kong. Same court. So that's Défi Sportif magic, because it's not only high level or grassroots.
Can you talk a bit about your journey and your journey within the Défi Sportif organization, because you've been involved for a while, and then in the past 6 years or so have now become the CEO. So what is that progression, that evolution for you within the organization been like?
That's my 31 edition for myself. When I started Défi Sportif, it's only for 6-month contract. Monique Lefebvre told me, I don't know if I'm going to have money for you for the future, but yes, we're going to give you a job and it took me 5 years, I think, to get my permanent job. And I built step by step. And one day Monique said to me, Max, I'm going to be retired, so do you want my baby? I said, oh my God, that's a good thing, good question. And I said, okay, let's try it. And now 6 years after, there I am. But always there for a good reason. First, my staff, for volunteers. This morning, one of my volunteers from medical come to me. She's involved for about, 32 years now? And she brings kids from secondary 4. And one of my member of my board was our 37 years, I think. Secondary 4, she's doing chronometer, timekeeper, and now she's on my board. So I present those person and said, again, it's all start here. You never know when you put your nose or your finger in Défi Sportif, you never know. So for myself, that's what happened, and I'm so glad to be here every day, every year to receive that kind of competition and to talk about Défi Sportif and important inclusion for people with disability.
And how has the sport competition kind of the schedule and the amount and the involvement and participation, how has that evolved through the years?
We're working a lot with teacher for the school program. What is the new sport? What is possibility to do that different competition or different sport? And for the rest, we apply for different competition, national, international. And now the beauty of the thing, we gotta have a little brother in British Columbia next year, and person from BC, New Brunswick was here this year to see, oh, maybe we can do something. So that's gonna be awesome, and that's gonna help for what we're gonna choose for the future. Because if you talk about wheelchair rugby, you've got low pointer, you've got women, we've got men tournament, so we can go in each different province. And when we work with the national federation, that's gonna help because they know the organization and they know they're gonna go well. So that's one of the possibility to choose the sport and different level we're gonna receive it.
Well, and it's going to feel quite special that other provinces, other organizations are coming to you and looking at Défi Sportif as the models. How can we replicate this elsewhere?
We're working hard together. One ability organization are starting to be here 4 years ago. Just said, oh, we understand something. And me and Monique Lefebvre, that's a dream from the last 10 years. We want to build something for the future across Canada, maybe across the world one day. But inclusion for all people with disability, that's the important for us. And that's the movement we want to create across Canada. I don't know if I answered your question right.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
sometimes
that's great.
Okay.
With the high school athletes that are competing today, I found it very interesting that you put on this like opening ceremony like atmosphere for them. Why did you want to include that? Why did you want to make sure that they felt that kind of celebration of an opening ceremony, even though we're in day 8 of 10 of competition?
Yeah. Children practice in a small gymnasium, and they open the door every maybe 2 days a week or stuff like that. But today, that's the Paralympic game for them. Open the door, music, loud, big gymnasium, lights, people applause, high five. So when the kids coming in, they boost it. And when they see all the parents in the stand and stuff like that. So we want to create something 1 time a year because like Jean-Marie said, it's 52 week, but only 1 week Défi Sportif. Yeah. And for those people, that's the week they're going to be a winner, or all the athletes they want to be, but that's the dream for 1 week. And that's why we repeat that every day with all partner, all member of AlterGo. That's important for us to do that. For the kids, but for all the people around Défi Sportif.
The event has been hosted and is hosted in Montreal. You have venues that you use across the city. What does it mean, or why is Montreal the best place to host the event like this, and how important is it to make sure that it's not just hosted in one venue, but you're finding appropriate spaces for the competition across the city? Yeah,
most of the answer of the question is we have to receive athlete in a venue was universal accessible, because we represent, first of all, AlterGo is the head office is for Montreal. We have a couple of venues in South Shore of Montreal because was not enough in Montreal, so we're growing in South Shore, and we always watching, first of all, universal accessibility for athletes, to be sure locker rooms is okay, gymnasium, room for referee, room for a volunteer, because we have volunteer they got handicap, so it's important for us to receive everyone nicely.
In terms of the support staff, as you mentioned, the volunteers, can you talk a bit about how much of an impact they have on the success of events like this every single year, like the referees, like getting all these other people to work together to be here, to be able to put on something this massive?
Yeah. volunteer 1,200 athletes volunteer every year. So year after year, we receive corporate volunteers. So that's help us during the day because it's not easy to find volunteer during the day. But for the rest, we receive volunteer year after year. So some volunteers are here for 5, 10, 15 years. They take a week of vacation to be here, to be sure take part of this organization, and they bring people after. Say, hey, it was my first year at Défi Sportif. You have to come to see it. And year after, they bring another friend. So there are 3, there are 4, and they build a team. Okay, we want to be all together at this venue or at this competition, or we want a lot of volunteers give some for food during the day, because when you do 5 hours, you're okay to have a meals after. So it's all important, and it's a family. It's important for us to do a gala for them when you do 5, 10, or 15 years. And guys like Claude Dagenet was now 35 years of volunteering. So that's important for him to be there for the kids, the new ones coming from volunteering during Défi Sportif. So it's a big family too, like the athlete, like the coaches, like everyone.
Is there a favorite moment or sport or part of the overall week that you always look forward to?
Parents, the smile, the eyes, the little star in the eyes of parents. That's what I'm watching every day in a competition. For sure, everyone is happy, but if you have a chance later, go in the middle of the gymnasium, just checking the stands. Parents that's my pay every day when I'm in Défi Sportif.
You talked off camera about how you're already focused on the next competition, years ahead in planning. What does the future look like for Défi Sportif, and what is your hope in the future for these competitions?
For sure, to have competition across Canada is one of my dreams, and more athletes have a chance to do sport, not stay at home. And like we said, we're the biggest event across Canada of multisport, but no one's know him. So that's bad, but people with disability want put in the front. They're an athlete like everyone. You have to train hard like everyone. So that's one of my goals, to be in one of the Jeux du Québec, Canada Games, or stuff like that across Canada. That's one of my goals too.
Are there any sports that you haven't been able to include in Défi Sportif in the past, but you would really like to kind of bring them into the fold in the future?
Yeah, maybe bringing back goalball. We have a chance to receive this year blind hockey. It was awesome. And to bring goalball, maybe it's one of my dreams to come back after maybe 10 or 15 years. They're gone, but we want to bring back people with blind handicap. It's a nice person to have it, and we love them and we want to work with them. So blind sport this year was awesome. Bringing back goalball too, that's going to be awesome too. Yeah, maybe that's a kind of competition we can bring it back.
Well, Maxime, I appreciate all the time you've provided us. Is there any last words that you want to share with the folks at home about Défi Sportif, or kind of try to tell them why they should come and check this out for themselves?
Yeah, if you come one time, everyone said, you're done. So you have to come back year after year. And to receive media like you to promote this event, you made my day.
Noel, you made mine, Maxime. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
From CEO to ambassador, that was our conversation with Maxime Gagnon. Now we turn things over to Jonathan Vermette. He is a former Paralympic wheelchair basketball player, an ambassador for Défi Sportif, and a member of Team Quebec competing during the competition. Here's the interview. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me.
It's my pleasure to be here.
What does Défi Sportif mean to you?
It means a lot. So I'm an ambassador for the Défi Sportif this year. It's such a big honor for me. I think this year is my 21st edition of the Défi Sportif. I started when I was probably 12 years old. And Défi Sportif is special for me. When I was a kid, at 12 years old, it was the first time at Défi Sportif that I saw actual like wheelchair basketball because I was playing mini like with kids, and then the Défi Sportif is the first time I saw adult playing the game, and I saw how high like the level was, and I was like, wow, that's really impressive. Maybe that's something I want to do and get better at.
As an ambassador, what is your role during the competition with all the events and in the engagement that you have to do?
My role, I would say, is to represent the Défi Sportif. So just be here, shake hands, talk about it. With years, we talk about it more and more, but it's still not enough, I think. So I do some interviews. I just try to speak about the Défi Sportif so as many people hear about it, come watch different sports, and then those people talk about it, and then we just try to make it bigger.
Now, for us, we just saw the opening ceremonies, a lot of high school and youth athletes coming in, getting a big celebration. To me, that's quite unique. I was saying that to our team here. I know Paralympians who would like that in some of the competitions they go to. What does it mean to you that you come to an event like this, you're a part of an event that truly celebrates parasport in this level?
It's super important for me. So the Défi Sportif is the biggest multi-sport event in Canada year after year, which is big. And then they have the school division, if I can say so. And it's so great to see the kids that walk into the stadium, and we're all there like cheering for them, and you can just see the smile on their face. It's really amazing. And obviously all those kids are not like gonna become like Paralympians, but the goal is just to make them dream, make them like celebrate them for once in the year. And I think they really do appreciate that, and it makes our job so much easier.
What is the competition level like for wheelchair basketball at Défi Sportif?
So for wheelchair basketball, I would say it's a regional like tournament, so we don't have international teams. It's not school oriented, it's adults. It's the same players that play in the Quebec League all year round, and then we just like come together for Défi. It's just another opportunity to have a weekend of like wheelchair basketball, and we do really enjoy that.
And so with the teams themselves, you were mentioning before, there's a bit of a shuffling that goes around. Like you're not necessarily playing with your usual teammates in your lineup. Why was that?
Exactly. Actually, we're just trying to do something new, have fun. So during the season, we stick to the same team, obviously, because then we do a ranking, there's finals and everything. Défi is just an opportunity to do things differently. The main goal at Défi for wheelchair basketball is to have fun, celebrate wheelchair sport, celebrate wheelchair basketball. So we just like to have fun, shuffle the teams a little bit, and then just celebrate.
And for yourself, you recently retired from the national wheelchair basketball team after competing in Paris.
Yep.
Can you talk a bit about this last cycle? Because we had a chance to talk to your former teammate, Patrick Anderson, and just how everything that went into the run-up to the games. I mean, there was a hard-fought competition to even qualify for the Paralympics.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of maybe concern from the outside looking in, but you pulled through in Santiago. You got to go and play in Paris. Take us through what those two competitions were like.
Oh man, we faced a lot of adversity. First of all, we had the Pan-Am Games in Santiago, which went okay, I'm gonna say. We had some tough games over there. We were surprised by Colombia, who played really, really good. And then, unfortunately or fortunately, we finished third, which did not qualify us for the Paralympics. So then we had to go to the repêchage tournament in France in spring of 2023, if I'm not wrong. And then, so at the repêchage tournament, it was the next 8 best team in the world. And then, so a couple of really good teams out there. And then we had a really tough tournament. Something was not quite clicking yet at that point. We had a couple of losses that we should have won. It really, it really showed our character. Then the last game of the tournament, actually we did lose every game in that tournament. So then we played the number 1 seed from the other pool, which was Italy. And then that was a do or die. We had to win that game to qualify. Otherwise, we would go home and no Paralympic for us. And then something clicked. We showed up. We had a great game. Every single player had a great game. And then we beat them by, I think, 20 plus points, which in the year prior, they beat us more than once. We didn't beat them that previous year. So that was such a relief to finally be able to put everything together and beat them. And that was qualifying us for Paris. So that was very high emotions, and that was a great moment. And then after that, knowing we were qualified for Paris, we still had some training camps, some friendly competitions. And even the road leading to Paris was rough at some point. In some friendly matches, we had some tough losses. But we have a good group of players, a lot of good veterans. And then again, like come Paris, we were able to bring everything clicked, and then we had a great tournament.
Why did you make the decision to retire after Paris? Why was that the right time to leave the national team?
Well, I was actually thinking about retiring after 2021 in Tokyo. And then a lot of things were going on back then. It was COVID, as we all know. So it was not real Paralympics, if I can say so. There was not too many fans in the stands. The experience was not quite the same. It was a great tournament. We had fun, but I felt like, plus we didn't perform as well as we hoped. So mainly for those two reasons, I rethought my process and everything, and I was like, oh, I think I can make it for under 3 years. It was not 4 years, only 3 years in that case. And I'm lucky my body was in good shape enough still. So yeah, I made the decision to stick around until Paris, which was the best decision ever because we had an awesome result in Paris. And like I said before, the team was like the chemistry within the team was really amazing. And Paris was my best tournament, not just like performance-wise, but fun-wise and everything. That was the best tournament ever. So I'm really glad I stuck until Paris.
Well, you know, as a fan of the sport, I was glad you stuck around as well. Before we wrap things up, and we're done with the serious side, now let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in Montreal. It's known for a few very iconic foods. A bagel or a smoked meat sandwich?
Actually, believe it or not, I've never been to Schwartz for a smoked meat. I live 5 minutes away and I've never been. But I would say Schwartz. It's more, you can go to New York for bagel or I don't know, but I would say go to Schwartz.
Oh, that's a hot take. You're promoting a New York bagel over in Montreal. That is a hot take.
Just remove what I said. Yeah. Montreal bagels are the best.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-game meal, what is your go-to pre-game or prep meal?
Nothing's like too specific. I like to go light, not like I'm not gonna go for a steak and fries and like. So I like to go light, chicken, fish with some veggies, pasta, something really simple. I'm not. I just make sure I eat proper enough, but I'm not crazy about this.
Do you have any superstitions as a player?
I do not have superstition. I go with the flow. I don't stick to any very, very specific plan.
What is the favorite place that you've ever competed in?
Wow. Well, I have to mention Paris for many reasons. First of all, French country, me speaking French makes it a little bit easier. Plus, the fans in Paris really know the sport. They know basketball in general, but also wheelchair basketball. And the stands were full, like packed with 18,000 people, I think. So that was really a great one. I could say the same with Japan. Unfortunately, in 2021, with COVID, there was not too many people in the stands, but they really know the sport. They love the sport. So I always had fun going to Japan. Too bad it's a 14-hour flight. Yeah. But yeah, those would be the top two places.
Défi Sportif is all about having a multi-sport opportunity and multi-sport event. If you had to play another sport, which one would you play?
I've been interested in trying sledge hockey. I did play a little bit when I was younger, just for one winter, but it's maybe something I would like to try. It's got the same speed as wheelchair basketball, the contact. Actually, maybe too much contact for me. Maybe I would lose it, but that's something I would like to try. Never to the national level, just to have fun. At this point in my life, I just enjoy doing sports to stay healthy, meet new people, and just have fun.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Défi Sportif is more than just a high-performance sport competition. It also allows high school athletes and youth participation in parasport, sometimes for the first time. I had a chance to catch up with two girls named Brianna on the soccer pitch and found out how they felt about Défi Sportif. Well, Brienne, thank you both for joining me. So tell me a bit about what you guys are doing today. Brianna, also.
We're playing soccer against like other teams, basically.
And Brienne, I believe this is the first time that you guys have been competing. What are your first impressions?
Well, I feel like it's a good game and it's amazing. We're just building teamwork and just encouraging ourselves.
It had to be really special this morning, walking through with that opening ceremony, the music, all the mascots and everything. What was your first impression, Brienne?
I was nervous first, but then I'm like, we're getting more used to it. So yeah, I was just nervous.
And Brienne, what about you?
I was nervous, anxiety, but I really like it. It's a good day.
What would you both tell people about Défi Sportif and what they're doing here? If someone didn't know about it, what would you tell them to encourage them to come and check it out?
Well, like, they should come and check it out and maybe try it with their school and see how it goes. They could have like fun, but like you might be nervous a little bit too at the same time.
Well, it's okay to have
It's okay to be nervous.
Yeah, exactly. But you give it a try, have some fun.
Yeah.
So you're playing soccer today. Is that going to be the one sport you two are playing?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And what is your favorite thing about soccer?
Just teamwork, passing the ball to each other. Yeah. We have to communicate with the teams and like call that when you're open, you just open.
Well, best of luck to you both and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Well, that does it for our coverage here on the ground at Défi Sportif Montreal. I've had a blast getting to meet everyone. The athletes were fantastic. The organizers were fantastic. It was a ton of fun. Everyone really enjoyed it. But don't worry, if you want more coverage of Défi Sportif on Parasport Nation, we have you covered. There's more to come in future episodes, and be sure to check out our social media page and YouTube page for some bonus coverage. Until next time, I'll catch you later.
Thanks for tuning in to Parasport Nation. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow us now.